We invest in kind of three different areas at the council. And all of it is really like AI applied into vertical spaces. But if you look at those vertical spaces we're investing in, it's part industrial tech, part healthcare, and then part what we call critical functions. And those are areas like customer success and law. But within industrial tech, I think some of the trends that we've seen is that like you have to be nuanced and specific about the use case you're solving and the customer you're building for, because there are so many generic tools out there. Like now everyone is building a sales tool, everybody is building an inventory management tool, everybody's building a forecasting tool and a purchasing tool and all that stuff. And so how you can really set yourself apart as a startup and as a company is by like focusing on something you uniquely understand very well and know how to speak that customer's language, know exactly what their workflows are day to day and how you can make those better. We've definitely seen that with GCAI and the like the critical function space, but also in industrial tech. Like if you look at Duroc, they're helping manufacturers convert 3D CAD models into work instructions instantly, which used to be a multi-day or multi-week process. And that's allowing and freeing up manufacturing engineers and design engineers to do other work that they enjoy doing more. And so, but if I look at like the commonalities there and with some other companies we've invested in like ag tech and other areas, it's that nuance. Like, we have one company, Lomi, that's building at the intersection of agriculture and supply chain. Not many people understand that, so not as many people are building for that. And then with Duroc's case, it's manufacturing at the intersection of design and engineering tools. So I think if you're thinking about founding a company today in an industrial tech space, you have to get more specific and then make sure that specific area is a big enough market that makes it worth tackling.
Totally.
And then we've also seen a lot of companies doing well if they're starting with like mid-market size customers and moving up through enterprise. But the companies have struggled a little bit more when they're working with like a long tail of SMB customers. And that's a risk when you're building in an area like manufacturing, because there are a lot of smaller manufacturers out there. Same with logistics. There's a lot of third-party logistics providers out there. And so you just have to think about like, how do I kind of either onboard customers in hordes through different channel strategies, or how do I go for a bigger type of customer and lead with that versus waste a lot of time on a customer base that might be churning more often because they're smaller and more unpredictable. So I think that's just like one of the trends that we've seen. But these areas have been very hot to invest in. Like when I started the council, everybody was investing in Web3 and they were like, you're crazy for investing in industrial tech and manufacturing is super boring. And now everybody's really excited about it.
It's the hot thing to invest in now, I feel
Which
like.
is cool. Like I'm glad there's going to be capital flowing toward these areas and that founders are wanting to build for them. But I do think like, if you're thinking about building in one of these areas, make sure it's an area you understand and that you have some sort of unique insight and workflow that you're going to be building for.
I mean, I think that's like definitely always true, but especially when you're in an area that's like really hot at the moment as well. Yeah. But it's really cool to see kind of like all of these trends, and also because I don't have a lot of industrial tech background, getting to learn a lot of that like through the past year too. Yeah. So it's been awesome. But yeah, on the healthcare side, I would say there's been so many changes this year. I think especially because it feels like there's always new policies that's like being dropped almost every month. Like you're having to keep up with so much. I mean, there's obviously some of the big ones like the One Big Beautiful Bill and the downstream effects. That's kind of like the big headline for Medicaid. And obviously there's gonna be a lot of challenges and implications from that, especially since like, there's going to be rural communities and hospitals that are not going to get like the funding that they used to, so they may shut down and cause healthcare deserts. But then, even still within that bill, there are some bright spots for healthcare, such as having direct primary care access, still with like your HSA dollars, which was like previously you weren't able to have that benefit before. And then I would say like, one of the other things too is that there's a lot more innovation programs that are coming out. And I think just like in the last couple of months, and I think just last week, there is like one that's called Maha Elevate, but other programs like Access that can be really powerful tailwinds for digital health. And I personally think this will be like another signal in that kind of like the integration of like wellness and longevity on like one side of the spectrum with actually healthcare and more integration of that, which I'm really excited to see. And then the last thing I would say too, like just for health insurance in general, like, there's a lot of the ACA subsidies going away in the marketplace. And so it's going to be a lot more expensive for people to have health insurance, next year. And so just like looking into what kind of solutions there will be for that. And hopefully founders that are kind of like thinking about that as well.